Loopy friends, it's Sherry from the Loopy coming to you with our Loopytube number 5. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're returning, I appreciate you coming back to check in on what I've been working on, and if you're new, of course, welcome to you too. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've been working on. I have a beautiful shawl that Sarah, who's our Loopy shop manager, did to share with you, and we're going to talk about a couple of things coming up in Loopyville, Loopyland. All right, so last time the question of the day was, do you focus on one project at a time, or do you have multiple projects going on? And it was pretty much universal. Everybody has multiple projects going on, which makes me feel better because I have so many works in progress whips that I've shared in other videos, but I have so many project bags because, you know, I love project bags, and every time I'm considering a new yarn, I order a sample of it and I, start a pattern with it to see if I like it. A lot of times I finish that project, but sometimes I'll just knit a little bit and decide yes or decide no, and so it seems like I've always got stuff going on. And of course, working at Loopy every day, seeing all the beautiful yarn come in, even though I have so much yarn, and I tell myself I am not taking a skein of this yarn home with me, it usually ends up coming home with me. So I'm blaming Loopy. That's why I have so much stash. That's why I have so many whips, and I'm just going to be good with it. So anyways, the last time we did a drawing for $25 Loopy credit at the Loopy, and Susan Slotke is the winner. Susan, thank you for watching and commenting, and I've already added that credit to your Loopy account, so you're all set to go shopping for something fun. All right, first let's talk about finishes. Well, I finished my Dudester that I shared. I think I shared that with you on the last video. It is, and I don't have it. I must have taken it to the shop and forgot to bring it home. It is my favorite scarf for men. It's a great men's scarf. Not that it's not a great women's scarf too, but sometimes when you're looking for something that's very classic looking, not too frilly, not too frou-frou, like some beautiful scarves can be that women like. But Dudester is a really fun one, and I've made it for my dad, and I've made it for my brother, and then I made this third one for a shop sample. So it's a really great pattern. I'll try and remember to bring it next time. I can't believe I didn't bring that today. So it's by Jana Pahota, and I believe it's a free pattern on Ravelry. So Dudester, and I made this one out of 2 skeins of Dream in Color City in our Timeless color, which is a really dark navy. In the city it always dyes up a little darker, so it's almost black. It's like a blue black. It's gorgeous. I love it. So I did finish that, and then I started a new project. A friend of mine is having her first grandbaby in June, so I am working on Simple Squares baby blanket. And there is no author on these pages, which is kind of funny. I know there's an author. If you look up Simple Squares baby blanket on Ravelry, this will come up. I'm knitting mine out of Spud and Chloe sweater. It is one of my favorite yarns to use for baby blankets. I think this is the 3rd or 4th baby blanket I've made, and I've made them all out of Spud and Chloe sweater. I love it. If you want a little bit lighter weight yarn for baby, the Appalachian Baby organic cotton is a great alternative too, and that was my original plan, and I don't know, I got wandering around Loopy and I changed my mind. So here's what I've got so far, and what I love about it, let's see, I'm going to back up because it gets too bright. What I love about it, it's a simple pattern, but it's not a boring pattern. It's got some pretty things going on. I love kind of the checkerboard or woven look to it. And I also like that there are no lacy holes for little baby fingers or little baby toes to get stuck in. I don't know. I know there's some really pretty, more lacy baby blankets. What is the name of that one that I did? Well, I can't remember. I did one that I love, and I was going to do that this time too. And then I started thinking about the little holes in it. And so I wanted to do this one with no holes for little fingers to get in. So this is, let's see, I've got this much left of my first 2 skeins, and that'll be halfway. So I anticipate maybe another row and then double that, because I'm using 4 skeins total. Remember, baby blankets, you don't want to make them too big. One of the best gifts I got when our son Danny was born was a little white, and I think that's why I'm doing it in this light color, a little white blanket, and I think it was probably this wide, this big. It was the perfect size to throw into the diaper bag or take to the park on a picnic or tuck inside the stroller, and it wasn't so big and bulky that it took up a lot of room. So I'm all for making baby blankets a little more usable in terms of size. And then this, of course, is hand wash, or not hand wash, machine wash and machine dry, because new mom wants to be hand washing and hand drying or laying out to dry blankets. So throw it in the washer, throw it in the dryer. It's I think 55-45 cotton and wool, superwash wool. So it's easy care, which you always want to do for babies, and I think it's going to be so cute. Isn't that a fun pattern? All right, so that's what I'm working on now. Since I picked this and started it, we have had in our designer spotlight, you know, we try and do a designer spotlight every Friday. Most Fridays it works 99% of the time. Once in a while I'll get a designer who forgets to send me her answers or his answers. But last week we had 5410 Studio in the designer spotlight. And I'm going to show you these things because these are my next newest favorite patterns. And I bought 3 of her blanket patterns and one of her other patterns that I'm going to show you, just because I love how interesting they are. They've got a lot of interesting texture. The pattern is really pretty. It's not frou-frou. It's just really just a classic kind of a design, and you know, it's a good design for no matter who you're giving it to. I could easily see using these for baby blankets, although also blankets to just curl up on the couch, and so I love these. And she also has some patterns for scarves that remind me of the Dudester too, because it's just a simple classic, you know, enough texture to make it interesting, enough stitch pattern to make it fun. So let me show you some of the, I'll show you the 3 that I bought today. The first one is called On the Porch. And again, this is by 5410 Studio. And you know what, doesn't it look very simple, but not boring to knit? This is, my friend Sarah says, this is great knitting for knit night or Zoom knitting calls, because you don't have to think about it too much, but it's just a really pretty pattern. So I'm looking forward to making that one. And then another one I got, so that one was called On the Porch. This one is called Look for Happiness. And again, another pretty blanket pattern. I think I'm going to be making some blankets for gifts. And then this one is called Looking Forward. And I love that too, the texture in that. So Mary Lee named her company 5410 because her grandparents bought their first house when they were a little older in life, and the address was 5410. And she said her and her family still talk about the wonderful memories they made at 5410. So I thought that was a really cool way to name your company, 5410 Studio. And then this is one that I bought from her. This is actually one that I saw from her 4 or 5 years ago. It's the first pattern that caught my eye from her. And so I got this one today too. Look how cute that little house is. Isn't that adorable? Somebody was in the shop last week buying a whole bunch of different colors to match her, I think it was a rug she was matching in her house. She was going to make a bunch of these little houses. And they're tiny. You can see she's holding in her hands. They're like this tall out of, I think, worsted. Yep, worsted weight yarn. You do a little bit of, well, let me show you the last page. A little bit of embroidery for the door and the windows. A little bit of felt. And she's got very extensive directions on this. Not only a lot of directions, but she has a table of contents here. So it's very thorough, very good instructions. So I'm looking forward to making that house and a new blanket as well. And then the other thing that I got, because you know how I love gnomes, Schira has a new gnome mystery knit along. So I got that pattern today, and I think it starts May 7th is clue number 1, and then you get a clue every few days. There's 7 clues. It ends in the end of May. Ends the end of May, so it's a 1-month knit along, and her gnomes, all of them are cute. You know, I've said that before. I've bought all of her gnome patterns. I haven't made all of them yet, but I am looking forward to doing this one. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So my plans for next time in my own knitting are to finish the baby blanket, because that baby's due in June. So I gotta get that done. Then I want to make the little, at least one of the little houses, because that shouldn't take too long. Sorry. I want to do the gnome, so that will be fun. And okay, this is, do y'all have a project that is just a whip that has been on your list forever, that's starting to weigh on your brain, that for some reason you just haven't gotten it out and finished it? Do you have that, or is it just me? My project like that is this Boxy. And if you've watched my Facebook Live videos from last year when we were going through COVID and I was doing more of those, you've heard me talk about this blasted Boxy. I mean, it's been, I have been working on this since, well, this is a, this was a Camp Loopy colorway, Glamping on the Lake, I think it was called. And I feel like our glamping camp was, I don't know, was it 7 years ago? We're on year 11 for Camp Loopy, which I'm going to talk about in a second. I've had this going for too long, is my point. It has been going way too long. I am I have a lot done. Let me see where I'm at. I think okay, see, I'm up to the sleeves. Here's the problem. When you start something and you work on it and then you put it away for a year or two and then you get it back out, you got to figure out where you left off. So I will figure out where I left off, but I shouldn't have left off at all. All right, I got up to the sleeve, underarms, so I've divided front and back, and I think I'm working on the front. So really, I mean, I've got from here on up to do in sleeves, and if you've seen the Boxy pattern, it's a huge oversized sweater. So there's a lot of knitting in that body. I mean, it's just round and around and around knitting. I have all the hard part done. All I need to do is finish it off. So I'm telling you this in the hopes that it will keep me accountable. I would really like to wear it. I mean, really, oversized Boxy kinds of sweaters are not even in style right now, but that's cool. I mean, I will wear it anyways, because I still love those kinds of things where you just wrap up and you feel cozy. It's like wearing your favorite sweatshirt. So I am looking forward to having it done. It's such a pretty, so it's showing up more olive on the screen. It's really like a forest green and blue. Oh, this is a gorgeous colorway. So that's what I'm gonna put on my must finish this summer project. Now, I've also got camp coming up, and I want to talk about Camp Loopy. We've got two big things going on at the shop. First, we have a new website coming, and that has been a project that we have been working on for several months. It's almost finished. We're really excited about it. We're excited about some of the new things that we can do with this new platform. But boy, it has taken a lot of time. So that's coming up soon. We're excited about that. And then Camp Loopy is coming up. And camp is a virtual camp, so you can participate. We have people all over the world who participate. We started this back in 2011, which just happened to be the same summer that Paul and I were moving from St. Louis to Colorado. We moved in July of that year. We left Loopy in St. Louis with my wonderful St. Louis Loopy elves. And they took care of running it with me coming back, every few weeks not every few weeks, I guess I came back every month to check in, and I could do all of my work remotely. That was a new thing back then, not so much anymore. But I started camp thinking, well, that would be something fun to have going on. It'll be a virtual camp. We have challenges each month. So little did I know how much work and how many participants that would end up being that summer for me not to even be there. But of course they handled it beautifully, as do the elves now, handle it beautifully. It is a lot of fun. So we come out with the theme. We have a different theme every year. We have a family friend of ours, Dennis, who is an amazing graphic artist, and he does our camp logos every year. And I should sometimes save the little sketch that I jot out. So I come up with a theme, and I kind of, sketch out what I want, and sketch being, that's being gracious about it. I don't have any drawing capabilities. But I send it off to Dennis, and then he comes back with these wonderful ideas and, a logo that is 1,000 times an improvement on my little sketch. So anyways, Dennis is wonderful to work with. He's wonderful to do our sketches every year. It wouldn't be camp without his sketches. Last year we did science camp. This year, you're going to have to wait and see. So mid-May is when we come out with the announcement, because we tell you the challenge, and then you look for the pattern or the yarn, depending on what the challenge is, specific to the challenge. And then we can get those shipped off to you so that you can start it June 1st. So we have a challenge going the month of June, we have a challenge going the month of July, and we have a challenge going the month of August. And you can do one challenge or two challenges or all three challenges. We have rewards for each of those levels, and we have a lot of fun during the summer with our camps. So watch for that mid-May when we do the announcement, and we'll give you some ideas on the challenges you can pick. We always like to make it open-ended enough that you can make something you really love. And I still get comments, well, it's too open-ended. I don't know what I want to do. And if I make it, more specific, then we get people saying, well, it's too specific. I don't know what I want to do. So we try and make it such that you can justify and fit what you want to make into most of the challenges, because we want it to be something fun for you. A lot of people use this for knitting Christmas presents. And so I think that's a great idea too. So I figure I've done all the camp challenges, so that's 30 camp projects in the last 10 years. So this year, number 11, will be 33 projects. That's kind of a fun thing to do. So we've got that coming up. All right, we do have a few new things in the shop since I last talked to you. We have a new indie dyer, Ridiculous Yarns, and we have her yarn in fingering weight, and it's a beautiful multicolored with some speckles kind of yarn. Check that out on the website. We've also added in Julie Spins Euro Fingering 820. That means 820 yards in the skein. It's a big skein. And I know a lot of you love those skeins because you can get two and make a sweater. That's 1,640 yards, and that makes a lot of sweater sizes. Or you can make a huge shawl. It's just less matching you have to do between skeins if you can just get one big one. Now, she did tell me that this is the last time we'll be able to get this because she can't get those big skeins from her mill anymore. So what we have is what we have. So if you're interested in that, check that out. We've also restocked our Malabrigo Rios, and you know, we've had a challenging time getting Malabrigo and most of our other yarns as well during COVID, but things seem to be moving a little more regularly now for Malabrigo. We're hoping that that's working out, so we're getting some more things in on a more regular basis. I just got an email yesterday that there are 12, I think it was 12 new colors of sock yarn coming out in July, so we have those pre-ordered for you, and so that's going to be fun. And speaking of Malabrigo sock, I brought Sarah's the Loopy office manager, like I said. I brought her temperance shawl because that's the knit along that's going on right now, which I talked to you about in the last Loopytube. And Sarah started hers early because we wanted to have a shop sample, and it is just beautiful. The temperance shawl is free on Ravelry, and check this out. So it uses 3 colors of sock, Malabrigo sock. So I'm going to kind of, let's see, I'm going to hold it up. Well, okay. So you start at the bottom there, and you do some stripes, and you do some ribbing, and then you do a little bit of yarn over for a little bit of lace, and then more stripes. And it's kind of patterned similar to the match and move. If you've done a match and move, where you get to a certain point and then you take off sideways, and then you've got all these stripes going on. Isn't that beautiful? Sarah does a beautiful job knitting. So that is the temperance shawl. And we have in the shop, if you go to our kits section, we have kits for the temperance shawl. We also have 3 color combos in the kit selection because we have a lot of people who like us to help them pick color combos, and that's one of our favorite things to do. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love picking out 2 that go together or 3 that go together. So we did 3 triple combos, and we have some, of course, in the Malabrigo sock. We also have a lot of them in the Dream in Color, Smushy Cashmere, because you know that's one of our favorites. And I know a lot of you have done the Goldfish Memory, which takes 3 too. So anyways, that's the temperance shawl, but also look for those 3 color combos if you are looking to do one of these patterns soon. All right, let's see. I have notes. Let me make sure I covered everything. Oh, I was telling you about new in the shop. We also have a new yarn base from Blue Sky called Skyland, and it's a DK Merino Alpaca Silk blend. It comes in 11 colors, so of course we have all 11 colors for you. It feels wonderful. It is a tight enough twist to make a beautiful stitch definition on your sweaters. So check that out, DK weight. And then we restocked Uncommon Thread Merino DK and Everyday Singles, and you know we restock that regularly. That's one of our favorite lines as well. All right, so I'm going to do a question of the day because we have another $25 Loopy gift certificate for one of you. And so the question of the day for today is, what are your favorite types of knitting challenges? Do you even like knitting challenges? So do you like things like Camp Loopy? Do you like knit-alongs? Do you like mystery knit-alongs where you don't even know what you're making, but you're trusting the designer that it's going to be something fun? So tell me what your favorite types of knit-alongs are. And when you leave a comment, use the word challenge in challenge or challenges. I'll search for both in the random picker. Use that word in your comment if you'd like to be entered into the drawing. Of course, in YouTube land, don't use the word drawing or giveaway because that attracts not the bots, but the people who just look for drawings and giveaways. And you have to be 18 years or older to enter because I have to ask your name and your information to put that gift certificate in your Loopy account. So use the word challenge and tell me what kind of challenges you like. I hope you guys are joining us for Camp Loopy this summer. It's going to be a lot of fun. We always have a great time, and I can't wait to share the new logo with you. It's going to be cool. All right, that's all for today. I will see you next time, and until then, keep knitting. Bye.